Okay, back with the tracker again. Was working on that center transom support. This one right here, kind of getting ready for that. And then I started noticing some other problems and just doing some brainstorming, getting some ideas together. So one thing, I noticed is that this thing that supports the deck is just welded here and here, there. So I decided I'm gonna put a piece of angle across here just to add some support and also keep trash from getting down in there. So I'll do that. And I got these extra bolts put in. I'm gonna put a third one in there just to be done with that for good. I noticed a lot of these ribs are really had some corrosion in there. If you can see that, that's pretty deep. So that's not good. This side has also got some pitting in it from corrosion. Don't think I'm going to do anything about that for now. It's just where that foam was in there. But one thing I noticed was that this piece here, this is where the hinge sits for the thing that folds down this way and it opens up that. So this is a pretty important structural piece for the deck, because the decking just goes across here, there, and then this is a pretty important piece here, and it's only welded right here and right there, which is probably okay. They haven't broken, but just doesn't, I don't want to leave it like that. I'm going to support it a little bit more. This divider wall here, I just went ahead and riveted in a couple little brackets just to hold that in place, and we'll see if that holds. If it doesn't, I can always come back and fix it. And then back here, you can see where the corrosion actually ate through the top of that rib. The sides of the rib are okay. There's no corrosion on the sides, and that's where most of the strength comes from. So I'm not really that worried about it. But this over here, you can see there's some pretty deep corrosion in the side of the hull. I don't like that. But I don't think I'm going to fix it. There's a little bit more over here. This is a little less deep, but still, that's where all that foam was up against it. And so I'm just going to leave that as it is. I decided it's just going to be too hard to weld. With all this pitting and corrosion, it's just really hard to weld in that stuff, and it needs to be sealed. So what I'll do, if I need to, I'll just put a piece on the outside when the time comes. Just yeah, getting ready. I also decided that redoing my calculations for foam, I'm going to actually put a wall in right here, and then this up here is going to be storage. All this back here is going to be foam, but to prevent more corrosion, I'm going to keep it off of the floor. So let's see what I'm going to do here. I'll kind of show you. I got some of my welds, not my welds, my pieces cut out. So let's see here. This is, the piece of angle. I'm going to put that up there, and what I'll do is I'll just weld it. Now, interestingly, you put that flat up against this one. Over on this end, it's about 3/8 of an inch higher. So that's, it's not even level or flat. So I'll probably just put a little cut here, relief cut, bend it down, whatever, and I'll weld it to the actual side of the boat, and then this isn't a right angle, so I'll have to like pound this down, and I'll just tack it in here. No big deal. So that piece will go in there. And I got this piece here, which I'm going to, let's see, this will go in here like this. Oop, see if I can do this. So I'm gonna put that piece back in there just as something to support the little floor I'm gonna put in here. I'm gonna put this piece in here like this. Now, I'll both rivet and weld this just to get it in there nice and secure. Again, let me just move some of this stuff. going to come back and put, this is that those little pieces they has used to keep the foam from getting down into these grooves, but I actually cut it and reshaped it, and I'm going to use it to keep it from getting even on the floor at all, because I'm just using this I forgot what kind of foam it's called. It's just like that one will go like that. It's just that stuff from Home Depot. It's not really the best for this application, but it will work. Just need to put it like that. And that's what I'll use just to keep all the foam off the floor. Keep it where it doesn't get wet at all. This foam has a potential to absorb a little bit of water. It can, over like many years of being submerged, it can become like 10% saturated at the most, usually like 2 to 3%, but worst case scenario 10%. So I'm just going to keep it off the floor. And then what do I got here? To shore up this thing, like I was going to do, cut this piece. This is a little 1-inch tubing, and I just kind of cut out a notch here, and I'll just put it up under there like that. Just shoot a rivet here, maybe a couple rivets from the other side, and then I'll tack weld it here, 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 all around. And then that'll definitely support this, which is really important. At least I think it is. Certainly won't make it any weaker. I got another one over here. I'll just, same thing, just put that in there like that. Tack weld it, rivet it, and I'll shoot a couple rivets in from this side just to hold it. No big deal. And then same thing on this side, although got to do a little bit extra work on this side. Where did my piece go? There it is. This is where the bilge pump pushed out the water. So it's just kind of weird. They had, both the bilge and the live well were back here. The live well pump was actually penetrated through the transom. You can see I've sealed that up with a piece of plate that I welded all the way around the outside of that plate. And then from the outside of the transom, I welded around the little center hole. So it's kind of double sealed. The bilge pump was sitting right here. And then both of them had hoses that ran up under this floor, and they came through here. The bilge came and went up and then out this side, and it's under all that foam, under the decking. You can't access any of it. The live well hose went, around that back corner, and then it came through here and went out that hole on up to the live well in front of the console. So you already know that I closed off that hole up there. I don't need a live well in this boat at all. And I can't see, it's a little bit extra work, but I can't see keeping the bilge pump over there than running a hose up under all this stuff that's going to be completely sealed and then out the side here. That hose will eventually break down, maybe not for many years, but it just seems unnecessary. I'm going to close that hole off. I'll put my bilge back in there, be the only thing, and I'm just going to run a hose up off the top. I'll just tack it to the thing and let it dump right out the top of the transom. And I can clean it. It'll be a shorter run, less hose length, so overall less resistance for the pump. Should be good to go. This is the little piece of this is 010 aluminum. And I'll just put it there. Again, I'll just weld around the outside, and then once I get that up there, then from the outside, I'll come from this other side, but I'll weld just around this circle like that. Should do it. So that's the plan. So I got a little bit diverted from my previous goal of adding a piece of angle that goes out to here, but that won't be too hard. I'm going to do that still. I'm just going to cut a piece of a T, make a T channel or whatever, put 2 pieces of angle back to back, weld them to that center keel, and then I'll just bolt it from here down to there. That'll be much stronger. Okay, so that's progress so far. It seems slow for me, but it is a ton of work to do all this. Stay tuned.